Hello brothers and sisters, welcome another the continuation episode of the video where our brother shared how he and the South African prophet were faking miracles. If you are new here, this is Dangerous African Confessions HD, where we bring to you confession stories to help you make your own informed decisions about your walk with God. Without taking much of your time, let us go and listen to the story. Please subscribe if you haven't done so, and also do like and share this video, so others out there can also benefit from this conversation, and hit the notification bell as well, so you will be notified anytime we upload videos. People were coming to me, asking about my healing, wanting to know how I felt, how I had overcome my condition. I was a part of something bigger now. I wasn't just a man surviving on the edge, I was a part of a movement. That's when they came to me again with another proposal. The assistant is the one who does all these arrangements with the others who truly understand what they do over there. He pulled me aside after the service and whispered to me that people now trust and believe in my story, and it is working really well for them. That was when he told me that, if I want, they can use me to help others. They can get more people to come forward, to show the prophet their struggles, and then, the prophet can heal them too. I came to understand that, most of the pastors who claim to be of God are the people who had long given up on ethics. He told me that, I was going to be their agent. And even if I want, I shouldn't be coming to church. They only want me to bring others to also act that they are sick. Where they will also act for the pastor to also pretend to be healing them. My job was to get them, train them in various forms of sicknesses. And when after they have the skills intact, I would take them to the church where the pastor will also pray for them to get healed. You see, because of the fear of not making it and send money back home, I was ready to do it. The idea felt wrong. But the thought of earning more, of being rewarded for helping others, which is receiving fake healings and also getting money, pulled me in. I knew what I was doing was immoral, but the rewards felt too good to resist. I remember the first time I approached someone about it. He was older, and he had this look in his eyes, like he was tired of living. I didn't know if he was really sick, or if he was just down on his luck, but he looked like someone who had lost hope. That is how we did it. We will have to look for someone who by the looks on his or her face, you will agree or have this conviction that, they are not well indeed. So, I sat next to him and struck up a conversation. I told him about the prophet, about the miraculous healing that had happened to me. He listened, his face blank, as if he didn't believe me. But I could see it in his eyes, he was desperate. Just like I had been. I told him about the benefits after he agrees to follow me to church and have a listening ear to us. I told him that, I'm healed of my brokenness and my financial sickness too. And if he does follow me, he will also see changes in his life. At first, the man was skeptical, but after I spoke about the blessings I had received, the way people had looked at me after my miracle, his eyes began to light up. I promised him that if he followed me to the church, he could be healed too. And just like that, I was recruiting him. He agreed. The more I did it, the easier it became. I would seek out people who were struggling, those who were physically weak, those who were emotionally worn down. It didn't matter if they had real problems or not. I tell them about my own experience, about how the prophet healed me, how he gave me a new life. So, my brother, that is how I started to build a network. It wasn't just one or two people anymore, it was many. I began to bring them to the church, one by one, showing them how to act like they had ailments, how to pretend to be sick. Some of them were eager, desperate for a way out of their own struggles. Others, like me, were just looking for a way to escape the harshness of their lives. And the more people I brought in, the more rewards I received. The prophet didn't even seem to care whether they were really sick or not. He'd pray for them, and they would rise from the altar, healed. The congregation would cheer, and the cycle would repeat. Every time, it felt more like a performance, less like a miracle, and more like a money-making scheme. But the praise, the admiration, the rewards I got for being a part of it, it was addictive. I started making money off of it, too. The prophet's assistants would give me a cut for every person I brought in, for every healed soul I helped bring to the altar. I wasn't just a witness anymore, I was part of the operation. And the more I recruited, the more I earned. It felt like I was winning. But you see, deep down, the guilt never went away. It ate at me every time I looked into someone's eyes and lied to them. I knew I wasn't just helping them find faith, I was exploiting them. I was leading them into a trap. I had become just like the people I had once feared, the ones who had used me for their own gain. And now, I was using others. It wasn't long before the whole thing started to unravel. The more I saw people come in, pretending to be sick, pretending to be broken, the more disgusted I became. Yes, I know someone will ask why then I didn't stop doing what I felt was not right. The thing is that, I was too far in. I couldn't stop. I had made too much money off of it, had built too many lies around it. One day, I saw a woman who had just come to the church. She was trembling as she walked up to the altar, her face filled with hope. But I knew the truth. She wasn't sick. She was just another person I had recruited. I had given her the script, told her how to act, how to look vulnerable. As the prophet prayed over her, I watched the people around us cheer. But in that moment, something inside me broke. I saw her standing there, acting healed, and I realized how far I had gone. I was no longer a person seeking salvation, I was part of a web of lies that was trapping people who were just like I once was. Desperate. Hopeless. That was when it really hit me hard that I couldn't do it anymore. I had to get out. But the fear of what would happen if I left, of what the prophet and his followers might do to me, kept me from walking away. So, what really will bring a closure to all these tricks for me is that, it was one day after service that I met this woman. I didn't know her name at first, but she was a regular at the church. I recognized her as one of the faithful ones, the ones who have their eyes closed, hands raised during every prayer, who never missed a service. She was the picture of devotion, always there, always praising the prophet. We bumped into each other in the church lobby, just as people were leaving. She looked at me with a weary expression, her eyes betraying frustration. She told me, or I should say that she questioned, "You're the one who was healed, right?" I nodded, feeling a strange mix of pride and guilt. She gave me a half smile. "Good for you. I'm really happy for you, really, but I have to ask, what's the point? Why does the pastor heal so many people, but I'm still stuck with my condition? I've been coming here for years, believing, praying, giving my all to this place, and I'm still sick. I thought the prophet was supposed to help me. But nothing's changed for me." Brother, her words hit me like a punch to the gut. For a moment, I didn't know what to say. I could see the genuine pain in her eyes, the kind of pain I had felt when I first arrived in South Africa, struggling to survive. But here she was, a devoted member of this church, who had been led to believe that the prophet could heal her, yet she was still sick. She wasn't like the others. She had faith, real faith, and yet she was still waiting for her miracle. I stood there, dumbfounded, as she told me that she doesn't know what to think anymore. Because, every Sunday, people get healed in front of her, and she cheers, she claps for them. She asked me that, when is it going to be her own turn? Why was she still sick while they get their healing? I was speechless. And then, in a flash, it hit me, the realization of just how far the deception had gone. This woman wasn't just another recruit, another person pretending to be sick for a miracle. She was real. Her faith was real. And yet, she had been left behind, just like the rest of us who had fallen into this cycle of lies. I thought of all the people I had brought into the church, the ones I had told to pretend, to fake their ailments, to act like they were broken so the prophet could heal them. And I realized with horror that I had been helping to keep this woman, and countless others, in the dark. I wasn't offering them faith, I was offering them false hope. I had become part of a system that preyed on vulnerable people like her. You see, that night, that conversation stayed with me long. Her words echoing in my mind. How could I have been so blind? How could I have been so caught up in the rewards, the praise, the money, and not seen the damage I was causing? She wasn't just another person to recruit. She was a real person, with real faith, and she had been deceived just like the rest have been. So, my brother, for the first time, I saw the full picture. The prophet wasn't healing anyone. He was feeding off their desperation, exploiting their faith for his own gain. And I had been helping him do it. I had become a part of that deception. I couldn't keep doing it. I couldn't keep lying to these people. I couldn't keep pretending that what we were doing was helping anyone. I had to get out. But I knew it wouldn't be easy. Walking away from the prophet, from the money, from the status, there were consequences. But what choice did I have? I had already lost my soul by participating in this lie. If I didn't leave now, I was going to lose my humanity as well. That night, as I lay awake in my apartment, the weight of everything hit me. I had to tell the truth. I had to confess what I had been a part of. The lives I had manipulated, the people I had deceived, the hope I had stolen, everything was crashing down on me. I couldn't live with myself anymore. I couldn't continue being a part of this lie. I told the prophet that I was visiting my family back home to see how they were doing. And my brother, that is how come I left South Africa, and has never since been there again. I walked away from it all. And now, the reason I decided to tell this is because I have been seeing things similar to what I witnessed or what I was a part of, around or in so many churches. I am not going to say this church or that church. But all I can say is that, if you belong to a church whose leader is able to pray or touch people for them to get their healings or breakthrough in life, and yet the very people you see day in and day out in the church are still struggling, you better advise yourself. I will boldly tell you to walk away from the church. Because they are not doing what they claim they are doing. But instead, they are manipulating and exploiting you. I've seen the damage of this deception, and I can't keep pretending that everything is okay. I was part of something like that. All that I can say at the point before I go is that, if you're out there, struggling, feeling like you have nowhere else to turn, don't fall for the lies. There's no miracle that comes from deception. There's no healing in falsehood. The only place you can get your healing is through a personal relationship with the good Lord your God. Talk with Him in the quietness of your home or room, from deep within your heart. And I promise you, if you search Him diligently, you will surely know Him. Let me tell you something I have realized is the reason the woman, despite her faith in the Lord or so it seems, didn't get her healing. She believed that the pastor was going to help her or heal her. And by so doing, you put your faith in the pastor without you knowing, instead of your Maker. That is the problem with so many Christians today. I thank you for your time and listening ears. Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. One thing which we should all know and understand is that, even as we reflect on this story filled with deception, power, and regret, it's important to remember the one truth that is most crucial for everyone out there. Let us take a moment to reflect on the choices made, the sacrifices given, and the dark path that was chosen by this man. Power, success, wealth, these are things that many of us crave. We are told from a young age that we should strive for greatness, that the world rewards those who push hardest and sacrifice most. But I am here to tell you that there is a hidden truth behind the pursuit of power. The price is often far higher than you can imagine, and once you pay it, you can never undo it. You see, this man believed he could outsmart fate. It's easy to think that we can control the consequences of our actions, that the things we give up, the people we hurt, won't matter in the end. But I urge you to reconsider. For the sacrifices made in the name of power, whether they are physical, emotional, or even spiritual, will weigh on you. They will leave scars that go beyond the visible. They will haunt you in ways you cannot predict. What begins as a thirst for more wealth, more influence, more control, soon turns into an insatiable hunger, one that can never be filled, no matter how much you achieve. For that is how the devil works. The truth is, every choice you make comes with a price. When you make a deal with darkness, you're not just trading your soul for power, you're trading your peace, your conscience, your relationships, and perhaps even your very identity. In conclusion, This episode is a stark reminder that whatever we do in this life, we are bound to pay for it in the days ahead of us. The only thing you need to know is that God is calling you into a deeper, more intimate relationship with Him. And when you have that relationship with Him, you will be able to achieve all that you desire. Don't settle for anything less. We shall meet again in the next video. Thank you.